Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good night to Australia. And welcome to today's short meeting. And good to see all of you. Please note this webinar is being recorded as well, so no funny faces or anything like this. Most of us here are direct Provision-Isr partners and distributors. So thank you very much for joining, and for anyone else, welcome. This webinar is being recorded. We also muted your microphones at the moment. We will open it at the end. In the meantime, if you have any question, feel free to write them on the chat to everyone to notice. Ronen is here with me and we'll be happy to answer. We also have Tal joining us. So we will be able to answer some technical questions if we have any. Today's webinar is about a roadmap of products coming your way from now till the end of the year, more or less. I'm sure we will have some adaptation in between, but as you know, we always try to inform you in advance about products that are coming, that are in the works right now and are coming your way. Let's start. Okay. Very well. So as you see, we have quite a lot to cover. Not very long one, but about 14 different items that are about to join or change. And the next Qs 2, 3, and 4. To begin with, by the way, many of the changes you already see in the price list, or you already saw in our website, because we already launched them, but some of them we haven't been talking about it yet. So it's a good time to explain them and to explain the reason and the benefits of each change or new product that we launched. To begin with, PoE switches. There are 4 models of PoE switches that we had to change the chipset due to, as you know, there is a major crisis in the chipset industry of almost everything. And many of the changes we're going to see in the presentation today is related to that change, to that supply problem of chipsets. This supply problem is becoming bigger and bigger. We'll talk about it later. But at the moment, due to that, there are some items that need to be changed. Some of them are also PoE switches. At the moment, we have 4 different PoE switches that are about to be changed. 2 in the 10-100 megabit per second switches, and 2 in the gigabyte switches. Those are the 4 models that are about to change, and those are the new model. As you can see, the availability is already this month in June. And when I talk about availability in this presentation, it's mostly about availability in China. In the middle of the month, almost all of these models are available already. What are the main changes? So the main changes is, one, if you notice, PoE power budget reduction. If you notice, let's take, for example, this model, 24380 GSL. 380 is the amount of the total watt that this switch can produce. Total of 380. We reduced it to 370. Just for your technical knowledge, when we talk about watt of a PoE switch, naturally we want to know how much do we need to cover any kind of camera that we want to plug into this switch. So if we look at Provision-Isr cameras, the model that consumes the most watt from a PoE switch is naturally our biggest size camera, the i6 in that case. That does not matter with the resolution. What's important is the amount of LEDs and all of that. i6 is the one that consumes the most. especially at nighttime when the IR are on and fully operational, we consume much more watt. Just for your technical knowledge, the i6 at nighttime consumed 12.5 watt. When you take the 370, and this is a 24-channel machine, we take the 370 divided by 24, we actually get 15.4. Again, the i6 at nighttime needs 12.5. So even if you connect all 24 channels with i6, you have more than you need. So during that process, one of the benefits is we also have a price reduction. So please notice, adapt your price list accordingly. Less budget means also reduction in price. Next, OSSIA VMS. And we are talking about the servers. Again, this is notification we already sent. This is already available. Just to align with everyone that haven't noticed to this change. As you know, we used to have 3 different models of servers for the VMS, for the OSSIA VMS. We used to have DT, or what we call the mini. We used to have what we used to call the small. We used to have the medium and the XL. In April, we announced the merge of 2 models, the medium and the small one. The medium is basically declared end of life, and the small one got all the features of the medium. So these small ones will now, performance will be improved to match the exact features that the medium used to have. So we upgraded from 32 channels to 64 channel support. We upgraded from 128 channels. Sorry, the first one is we upgraded from 32 devices or NVR that you can connect to it to 64 devices. We upgraded from 128 channels to 256 built-in licenses included. It supports the Easy Check unit for the temperature and measures of temperature and mass. It supports client mode as well, meaning the device can act as a management server or as a client mode. If you need more information, send us an email. We will be happy to show you again what does it mean. And price stays the same. This is the big news, of course. Price stays the same. By the way, if you still have stock, existing stock of this model, of the small one, ask our support on how to upgrade it to act as with all those new features. And again, it's available already right now. The wireless camera, or the one that has the antenna that can speak with the receiver. We have redesigned the camera, and the model that we used to have, we launched very fast to answer the demand, but there was a need to improve the housing and the design of it and a few more features. So we did. The main changes that we did was designing the housing itself to look a little bit more appealing and have much more elegant design. We improved the IR performance and we improved the video quality. We changed some components, and when we do that, we always need to give a new model. So this is the old model, and the new model just add the M letter into it. It's already available when we talk about availability in China. When I say availability in China, always take into consideration availability in Netherlands is about 1 month, 1.5 months later. Availability in USA warehouse is about 1.5 months later. The IV camera, hidden camera in IP. We have this model. We're one of the only company in the world that has it. The old model, this is the model, is basically declared end of life 3 months ago due to some chipset problems. And we're replaced with the new model. Note that we already changed the model, the 2 instead of the 9 to align with the rest of the IP series cameras. The main changes that we have now is 2 video stream, used to be 3. 3 simultaneous user connection, it used to be 5. And digital WDR instead of WDR. I know it's a bit of a downgrade, but the performance are great. And again, there's not much choice here. We had to do it due to some chipset problem. This model was missing in our stock for the last 4 months. So we are happy that the new model already arrived and performed great, and it's already available now. What? Sorry. No, so at the end. A new model we are launching. Sorry, I know we have some question in between. I will answer all of them at the end with your permission, but keep writing them as we go on, so we will leave no question unanswered. A new model, it's a new accessory that we have been running for the last year, actually. And we are very happy with the results of it, and we see the influence of it to installers. This is basically a horn speaker. Now, the nice thing about it is that we did some adaptation with Provision-Isr equipment. Once you connected it to the camera audio out or the DVR NVR audio out, the audio out can be transmitted through them, and allowing you basically to activate any audio file that you want to upload to be heard, or even to have a two-way communication. Some of the features that relate to it is, of course, wall-mounted. Power is about 30 to 40 watts, which is given an effective distance of about 20 to 30 meters. You can control the volume of it. It has a PL audio out, so it's very easy to connect to any IP camera that has an audio out, or to the DVR, or to the NVR. It works on a low voltage power, so it's very easy also to take the voltage from the camera, and the size is not that big. Now, the nice thing about it, like I said, is that you can actually upload an audio file. You know, we have that feature through the VMS, or even some of the cameras that has it, and you connect that speaker next to the camera. When there is an event, you can trigger an audio to be played. It can be a music file. It can be an audio message that you recorded yourself. Or again, if you open your app and you open a two-way communication with the camera, you can actually talk, and the thief or whoever you want to hear you will hear the message that you want to give him. This is already available, and you're welcome to order a sample and try it yourself. We'll send you some videos on how it works. David from our technical department is already preparing some videos to demo this equipment to you. In the PNV section, in the retail home plug-and view camera, not many of you offer them, but for the one that do, the WP 818 is the outdoor bullet camera, wireless and everything, works with the PNV app. And we have decided to change the hardware to a more appealing hardware and adding some new features. The main changes, again, designing a whole new bullet camera, much more elegant. We added built-in microphone and speaker into this camera. We have it in all the indoor cameras until now in that segment of product. Now we have it also in the bullet camera, built-in microphone and speaker. Naturally, we also added the two-way audio capabilities. And one of the features that is still in progress and will be updated by a future update release is basic AI human recognition for short distance, 5 to 10 meters. The ability to recognize if it's a human being actually, and to trigger a true event alarm instead of a false alarm. Next is going to cover a few categories. We talked about the high silicon crisis in the world and all of that. We talked about it in our meetings many times in the past. Naturally, we had the high silicon crisis is, of course, growing and growing. Other than the fact that the USA added it to an NDAA banned chipsets, there is also a supply problem in it. In that process, we decided long ago to find solutions to replace the high silicon chipset with new chipsets. The NOVATEK is one of the main ones that we go with in most of the product line. There are some product line that we had to go with MSTAR due to some missing chipset in NOVATEK series or whatever. In the next slides, I'm going to show you some of the categories that are going to be affected from that change from high silicon to NOVATEK. Those categories are the HD analog DVRs. And we already, in our previous price list, we already showed you some of the models that are going to be changed and the new models, and many of them are already available on the website. But we're going to talk today about what is the main changes you're going to see between the models. Second one is the 2 megapixel S-site IP V2 line, also moving from high silicon to NOVATEK. And the third is our bullet PTZ camera, and one of our models of professional PTZ, the MZ camera. And let's go one by one. So to begin with, of course, you're going to get this presentation, so you're going to get all the models, and you can see all of them. So all of Provision-Isr DVR models are going to change from high silicon to NOVATEK. This change is already happened in some of the models. Some of the models we already shipped to you, to some of you. Some of the models not available yet in all of the warehouses. But bottom line, all the models are going to switch from high silicon to NOVATEK. What are the main changes? Two main changes. One is mainstream recording. The dual stream recording capability is basically no longer available in those models, not in all the models, but in most of the models. And I'm talking about recording only. It means in today's DVR that has high silicon chipset on it, the high silicon chipset allow us to record in two different streams, in mainstream and substream. You're familiar with it. NOVATEK does not have this capability yet. We are hoping to have more series of chipsets that will support it, but at the moment, they don't support it. The result of it, a lower number of channels for local or remote playback. An example, if a 16-channel recorder used to do 16-channel playback, when we playback, we want the ability to view 16-channel playback. So in some of the models, it's not available. You can play 4-channel or 8-channel, depends. And the second is higher bandwidth usage for remote playback. Naturally, when you do playback from remote, you take the stream of the playback. If we don't allow substream in a low resolution, you actually take only the mainstream. And because of that, you consume much higher bandwidth. You need to remember it. The second topic that we are facing with this change is related to the hybrid between IP and HD channel and the DVR. If you remember, most of the existing model today with the high silicon chipsets allow a full dynamic hybrid capability. You remember this table that shows you that for a 12-channel DVR, for example, this model, which is a high silicon based model, 8-channel machine, supporting 5 megapixel resolution, small housing. The basic configuration was, of course, 8-channel DVR, analog channels, plus 4 IP channels. And then the DVR gave you the possibility to play with it as much as you want, to combine between the HD and the IP channel, all the way down to 0 channels in HD and 12 channel in IP. In that occasion, it's already an NVR, and that was one of the benefits of these models. This is no longer available in the NOVATEK models. For example, this is the new model with NOVATEK chipset, and it's basically come with the ability to connect 8-channel HD, of course, 8-channel B and C at the back, and you connect up to 4 IP channel. Fixed amount, you cannot play with it, you cannot mix and match. Hope it's clear. The second category that is being affected from that change is the 2 megapixel S-Sight V2 line. Not much to change about it. We just added a simple letter. So you can notice that the model, we added a simple N. And by the way, in the DVR, you also notice it. We just add a simple N so everyone can recognize that this is a NOVATEK machine, any warehouse person, technical department, and so on. Same with the S-Sight, we just added the letter N. And some of it is already becoming available as we speak, already in June, some in July. But basically, all the 2 megapixel S-Sight line is going to change from high silicon to NOVATEK. You can sell it in project market and any other market, NDA approved, of course. Main changes, sensor side is being changed from 2.9 inch to 2.8 inch. And the meaning of it is basically better night performance. This is a major improvement that we got in the S-Sight. Some of you complained about the fact that maybe the night vision is not as good as in the eyesight. So now you're going to see the differences. The night performance in the NOVATEK series chipset is better due to the fact that we have a larger sensor size. And the third category that was affected from the change from high silicon to NOVATEK is the i5 cameras and the MZ line. Here, we're actually using MSTAR solution. We talked about MSTAR in the past as well. And you're going to see it with a mark M, just to make your life easier. We're talking about the i5 PT models that has been changed to the MSTAR solution, already available, and with a Zoom 4 or Zoom 10, and the MZ camera, which I know was missing for a long time in our inventory. We were waiting for the new model to arrive and to have the same features as before. We did our best, of course. Now let's talk about the main changes in all these three models. The main changes is basically, since we have a new chipset, the interface is going to look differently also. The interface has been changed, the graphical interface, I mean. This is not that big of a change, very easy to do and very easy to activate. However, the main change is at the moment, and I'm saying again, at the moment, the inability to use Provision-Isr IP Manager. As you know, we have the IP Manager where you can find all of Provision-Isr equipment, go from it to any one of the equipment, get live images through it. It's more of a technical tool to any installer or a technical department. However, due to the urgency of the change and the fact that the stock was running low and we really wanted to have the stock coming, not to avoid having no product in stock, we haven't completed the integration with the IP Manager software. This will be solved in the coming versions. However, at the moment, it will affect the inability to find the camera in other IP segments. And I want to say again here that the cameras come in DHCP. Therefore, it's a very rare occasion that it will be in other IP segment. However, if it does, you cannot find it. You need to change it to DHCP. And also the inability to get live preview on the IP Manager. On the IP Manager, there is a small screen that you can see the video of the camera, and the inability to use the IP Manager for camera password recovery. I know it's a little bit of a headache, but there are other ways to restore the password for the camera. Talk with our support, and then we'll send you a guide on how to restore a password on those cameras. Some good news also, requests that we got from the market. So first thing, there was a request to add a 3.6 millimeter option to our fixed lens model. So there it is. Right now, to begin with, we already have a few models available in 3.6 millimeter lens. Some of you complain about the fact that the 2.8 is too wide, and we need to give more options to our customers. So we did 3.6 millimeter lens. Some of those models already available in China. Again, 1.5 months more or less to Netherlands or USA warehouse. More or less the angle of view, 2.8, 110 degree, very, very wide, and 3.6 millimeter, 90 degree, already available. Second request that we got from the market is for more gray or chuck gray housing, or dark gray, different names in different countries, already available for most of the models. Some of the models are coming as we speak. Quite a lot of models, both in the IP camera range, both in the HD camera range, and of course, brackets and junction box to accommodate the cameras. A new PTZ line that we are launching. In the recent years, we have collected many requests from you on suggestion on how to improve the professional PTZ line, the IP PTZ line, some features that is needed in today's market. PTZ line is never an easy line to replace. It's always involve a lot of support to explain the product, but it is time to change it and to bring some new added features. Some of those changes, PoE support, and a lot of you has been asking it for a very long time. So now those PTZ lines support PoE. True WDR, 120 dB, some of them do. SD card support. One of the major change is the DDA analytic with auto tracking. Yes, the DDA analytics that you know from our eyesight cameras is now inside those PTZ cameras, and the ability to recognize the object and to follow it. We have the feature of auto tracking and the object that we recognize. In-ceiling installation option. This specific model, the Z4, which is the smallest from all from the new line, also have an in-ceiling mount bracket. And one of the biggest change is the full compatibility with all Provision-Isr platforms, whether it's the OSSIA NVR, the VMS, the Provision CAM, the IP Manager, any platform of Provision-Isr work smoothly. We did the full integration with it. Everything works smoothly through all password recovery from the IP Manager, and many of the features that was a little bit of a headache in the previous series. Those are the new model. We actually have 3 types of housing: small, medium, and large. This is the size in inches, the size of the round shape, 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. Different zoom options. We have 2 megapixel, 4 megapixel, from 25 zoom to 32 zoom. It's considered to be in the eyesight series since it has DDA analytic and all the features that the eyesight series have. Color at night cameras. I know you've been asking us for a very, very long time about it. The new Provision-Isr IP color at night cameras will be available somewhere along August, between August to September. At the moment, there are only, and by the way, it's in the entire market, we checked it, they're only available in turret or a bullet camera, as you call it, and in dome. Only 2 models in fixed lens, not in varifocal. There are none color at night cameras in varifocal. It's still not possible to do. You need a fixed lens in order to do this kind of solution. So we have available in dome camera or in bullet or turret, in bullet or camera, or in dome or turret camera, depends where you're from and how you call it. Available in 2 megapixel or in 5 megapixel. Coming around August to September, more or less. Orders are welcome even today. This will help us even better to estimate your needs. So we will publish the models and the price list probably somewhere around the end of this month, beginning of July. And orders are welcome once you see the price list and models. This will help us to prepare much better for your needs. Last but not least, hopefully for this year, is a perimeter allowed camera. You've been waiting it. We've been talking about it for a long time. To remind you, designed to give a solution from, designed to give to the customer a solution basically from A to Z. Not only to be able, of course, those cameras has the DDA features. So not only to have the ability to recognize the object and to distinguish the object, but also to really alert physically on the camera. Built-in speaker that you can upload any audio file that you wish, whether it's music, audio file that you record, built-in audio messages that we have on the camera. So built-in speaker that you can transmit any message that you want. Built-in white LEDs that is basically blinking very strongly when an event occurs. You control it. Both can be activated when any event occurs. Recognition of a human, recognition of a car, recognition of a four-wheel drive or two-wheel drives and so on. Or entering a perimeter, crossing a line, any one of your DDA features. Equipped with a motorized 2.8 to 12 millimeter varifocal lens. Full control from the NVR from version 1.4.4 already released. Built-in SD card and built-in microphone. So you can also hear what's going on. These models, I know you've been waiting a while. You need to wait a little bit longer. It's going to be available in Q4, somewhere around October. That's it for now. I'm going to open your microphones now. And I'm going to read, of course, some of the questions that we have in the chat, and I will try to answer them. We're asked for dome body wireless IP cameras. Are you planning to release such one? Dome body wireless IP camera. You mean a box? Not sure who it is, but I'm guessing you're talking about box cameras with the wireless solution, with the lens and everything. We haven't got this request. And to be honest, box camera market or body camera market is a shrinking market. We see it every year go down and down. Sales of lenses as well that goes with it. We still have box cameras, as you know, in IP range and in HD range. We haven't got a request for wireless even for wired in that category, not to talk about wireless, but I will be happy to hear more. So please send me a separate email describing more about the product. Hopefully, okay, dome in wireless. Got it. So not body, but dome wireless cameras. I'm guessing that you're referring same to the i3 wireless cameras that we launched. Not at the moment. The main request that we got about wireless was about outdoor cameras, especially for the private market, since it's very hard to wire the cameras outside of the house or something like this. I will ask about the dome camera option as well. I know it exists. I know we can do it, but let me find out how can we do it, or any other question here. No amplifier needed. No amplifier. It's got a built-in amplifier. That, like I said, effective for 20 to 30 meters, so it's quite sufficient. So no, you don't need any other accessory. You just connect the speaker next to the camera, you plug it into the audio out, and it needs the power as well. The PNV camera, why they cannot be added to the NVRs? It would be great. I agree, it would be great. However, it's a whole different platform, different apps. We are trying to find a way on how to, there are ways, by the way, for those of you that are selling this kind of equipment, there are ways to connect them to the NVRs. Not work as smoothly, and it's not a plug and play solution, but it is available. And not many of our customers sell those kind of product, but if you do, contact our support and they will offer a solution how to connect it to the NVR, how to find it in the networks, and how to connect. The cameras, Carlos. The cameras with the wireless can connect direct with the app Provision-Com by wireless. Not sure, Carlos, maybe you can ask again. In the meantime, I will move on to the next question. I'm not sure that I fully understand the question. Yes, we lose hybrid possibility to all DVRs. Not all DVRs, as I said, not all DVRs, some of the models. All of the models, by the way, are, I think most of them, not all of them, but most of them are already in the website. We'll send you a full table as well with the existing model next to the new model. Sorry, again, once again, I think today or in the coming days, June catalog is being released and published, and you will get it. And inside the catalog, it says for each model, you can see the previous model and the old and the new model, and you can see that in the table the differences when it comes to the hybrid. It's not in all models; it's in some of the models, but you should know which one. Hold on a second. Let me see more question. Many requests to have vandal resistance cameras in S-sites range 2. I'm guessing this question is coming from France, and maybe it's a good opportunity to ask the rest of our colleagues and raise your hands. I know there is a new feature in Zoom that you can raise your hand. So let's make a short poll. It will help us. I want to know if you have a request. You know, when we talk about S-site series in IP camera, we wanted to keep it simple. This is why the S for simple. Simple range, simple features for any installer. And for any other request, we go to the iSite, whether it's audio, alarm, anti-vandal cameras, and more and more and more and more features. I would like you to think about it, check it as well. If you have a request in your market to expand the S-site series with more models of housing, for example, anti-vandal or I6 or any camera, any housing that you find that we should increase the line of S-site. Again, our target was to keep the S-site as a simple series, small range, simple features, simple as that. By expanding it, we are making it a little bit more complicated. However, if there is a demand, we will be happy to hear about it. Resolution, there is a question, Pedro, resolution, I'm not sure which product you're talking about. Then we talk about here about the alerts. Can the alerts be start from the app? Alerts, if I understand correctly, you talk about the perimeter camera probably.
Yeah, the camera who can set up the stroboscope, like the color view of the Hikvision, that's the camera you're talking about. And I was wondering if these alerts can be started from the app.
They can be started from the app, but the whole idea is that they will start automatically when there is an event that you want them to be started. You can control it as well and operate them manually. However, the entire idea and concept is that once there is an event, instead of you need to act, the camera acts by itself, alerting, flashing, sending an audio voice or an audio sound or whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, but it will be great when it can also be started from...
Yes, yes, you can manually do it yourself as well.
Okay.
You can open a two-way communication with the camera. You can hear and speak. It's got built-in microphone and the speaker. So you can talk as well, and here you can control any activation that you want.
Yeah, it's a
What
pity.
is the...
Sorry, it is a pity that it will take till the end of the year probably, because when we talk in the
But
Netherlands.
I think you are mixing. I noticed that you said the color view camera Vision. It's not the same solution.
Nah, but
we have the color camera at night, similar to the color view of Vision. This is the one series that I talked about today, the one with colors. And we have the perimeter camera, which is not, it's a different solution. It's not about the color at night, it's about the perimeter camera that can act by itself and physically activate something when there is an event.
Yeah, okay.
Models. There are no models yet for the perimeter cameras. Once we will have them, of course, you will know about it. That's it. I don't see any other questions. So for now, if you do have any questions, please feel free to open your mic and ask away. We're all friends here. Or keep writing them on the chat. I'm here for the next 20 minutes or as long as you want, even just to chat. But for those of you that have to leave, thank you very much for joining today. This recording will be sent to you alongside the presentation, so you will be able to use it. Maybe it's a good occasion. Onen is saying that I should open the website and show you where you can even download it by yourself and any other seminar that we are doing. So guys, ladies, for those of you that hasn't been in our website for a long time, there's quite a lot of new sections in our website. As you know, Provision-Isr took the decision on educating its customer and any installer that want to learn. For that, we built a new section in our website called Knowledge Sharing. Inside of it, you can find the full element tools on how to educate yourself more and how to learn about Provision-Isr solution, education, and in general in CCTV, nothing to do with Provision-Isr. You can find different tutorial on Provision-Isr, and all the webinars of Provision-Isr is in here. The future ones and the past ones. So for example, we already published the upcoming live events for June 15. We have a DDA course, DDA analytic course about object counting, people counting, car counting, and so on. We do one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Anyone can register. We have the same also in Spanish. If you don't know, we're already hosting webinars in Spanish as well. On the 29th of the month, we do another seminar about DDA analytic, about triggers and how to set up triggers and activate triggers and so on. And if you want to view any past event, you just go to past event. By the way, you can do it from the menu here. Past event, and any one of those recording, you can just watch again. So today's recording is going to be uploaded here as well. You're more than welcome, and it will be sent to you as well. So you're more than welcome to view it. Again, for those of you that has to leave, kisses and hugs. Thank you very much for joining us today. For those of you that want to stay and to ask away, fire away. Your microphones are open. Can you control it yourself?